Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So the question I get asked quite often is how can I keep carnivore cheap? Doesn't it get very expensive eating ribeye all of the time? So I wanted to make this video just to explain how I do it. I can do it quite affordable, the different ways that I do it as well. So I'm going to go through all of these sort of things in the video, take a bit of a tour of my house and my freezer and all of the different bits that I have in my cupboard as well, and explain to you how I keep it cheap. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel, it really helps me out. Put any comments in how you may make it cheap, or if you're finding it difficult to make it cheap at all or affordable, if you're finding it far too expensive to maintain, and hopefully this video can help you. So let's get to it. Okay, so we are now in my kitchen. So keeping carnivore on a budget. So the first thing that I would say is go to your supermarket. So I go to Morrison's, and the reason I go there is that they have a proper butcher section, unlike other supermarkets which just pre-pack and put into the store. So I like to go to Morrison's because they have a proper butcher section where they actually do sell things that have been butchered in store that day. Morrison's is also really good at reducing things. So they have different times of the day that they tend to reduce things. So I want to just show you my freezer at the moment of what I've got in there, because I like to go in there, stock up and fill the freezer up. So let's have a quick look. To the freezer, let's see what we have in here. So let's have a look at the top drawer. So I've got some bacon chops here. Okay, bacon's probably not the best, but it's still meat at the end of the day. And as you can see here, quite a significant reduction. So I can have that with my breakfast or a lunch. So it's a nice easy meal for quite cheap. Braised steak. So I'm going to talk about some meats later on, but again, big reduction on that one. Here we got a nice pork fillet. Not a massive reduction, but what I always say is if it's reduced, go for it, because you're saving money regardless and you're getting good quality meat. So next drawer down. So I've got some nice duck portions here. So duck's usually fairly expensive, you can see £3.50 there, but you can also get it in a deal, so you can get 3 packets for £9 as well. So look out for deals in supermarkets. But this one here I got for £2.98, saving a bit of money there. We've also got some lamb breasts. So I'm having some lamb breasts tonight. So I managed to pick loads of these up the other day. I think I got 2 left. So £1.59 for that one. We've got this one, which was £1.18. Lots of bacon, that wasn't reduced, but I always keep a stock in my freezer. And frying steak as well. So that's quite a large steak there. Nice snack. Also got some fresh fish in there as well, which is usually fairly cheap. That's only £1.50 per packet. Don't worry about the cauliflower, that's not mine. Okay, next drawer. This one's quite full. So, lots of mince. So £1.18 here for mince. We've got another £1.05. I do keep a lot of mince because I like to make my own burgers or just make myself a mince meal. £1.18 again. Now, I wouldn't worry too much on the fat content on these because it either drains away and you need fat as well. £1.05 again. So, you know, that's a saving of 45p on all of that. That all adds up, obviously. Braising steak. So I've got this huge bit of braised steak here, was £3.15, 79p, and that could be used for a lot of different things. In here I've got thymus or sweetbreads. They're really, really, really nutritious. I've got some gammon there. Again, I got for £1.20, was £4, which is really, really good value. So, again, got some crackling in the freezer so I can make myself some pork scratchings as a snack. As you can see, it's 60p, and that was done in store at Morrison's. Here we go, pork loin joint for £2.95. And as you can see at the back here, I got some liver, which is, you can see, is £1. and I've got some kidney as well, £1.51, and another braising steak for 66p. So all in all, really good value. A lot in my freezer, and pretty much all of it has been reduced, and I've saved a lot of money, so I can manage to keep those meals pretty cheap. I did actually have quite a bit of ribeye steak in there that was reduced, so but I've eaten that now. We quickly go into the fridge. I can show you a few other deals that I managed to get. So in the fridge now, and here you can see, so I've got a nice lamb breast for tonight, £1.53. So this one wasn't reduced. This is a nice big boneless roll brisket, but £6.93, and that's enough for roughly 3 servings, so that's quite a cheap meal. The loin steaks as well, £3 for 4 of them, so less than £1 per steak. And here comes my favourite, so ribeyes. Yeah, okay, these are not the ones that are pre-packaged in store, but for 2 for £7, that's £3.50 per ribeye steak. So although it says £4 there, you're saving yourself if you buy 2. So definitely go for some of these. I'll be having some of these tonight. Of making carnivore cheap is eating eggs. So eggs are very high in nutritional values and are really, really cheap. So let's have a look at the eggs I've got at home. Okay, so these are the different types of eggs I've got on my home. So again, I like to buy these all from Morrison's because all of the eggs within Morrison's are free range, and I do like to have a free range egg. So these two here, as you can see, I've got a good amount here. These are from the same sort of pack, which is this one here. So free range, 30 British medium eggs, and this for a pack, £3.50 for 30, which I think is really good value for money, especially for free range as well. And as you see, I do go through quite a lot of eggs. I've also got some organic eggs as well. So the organic eggs is been free range. The foods that they eat are really good, high standard. There's no sort of chemicals used in any of the foods that they eat. So I do like to have some of them in the house as well. Those are £1.25 for 6. So a little bit more expensive, but it depends on what you prefer. Free range for £3.50 or the organic again for £1.25. These are my little weekend treats. So I do like to have duck eggs at the weekend. They got a lot more fat, which is obviously what you need. And as you can see, they are a lot bigger than a normal egg. Really tasty and full of nutrition. So I like to have them quite often. So eggs are a really cheap way to stick to the carnivore diet. The point isn't strictly a carnivore diet sort of tip. It can be used on any diet, but I like to drink mineral water on carnivore just so I'm ensuring that I get the correct minerals in my body. So I tend to go and buy this one from Morrison's. So for one bottle, it's £1, 45 pence. Whereas if you buy a 4-pack, it's £1.25. So you're saving quite a bit of money if you get the 4-pack. So same with eggs, with these, buy in bulk, you save a lot of money. So snacking on carnivore can sometimes be quite expensive. So what I like to do, I can boil some eggs up, put it in some Tupperware or in a bowl and put in a load of butter as well. Really tasty meal. Butter, really cheap as well. You can pick that up for around £1.45 from Morrison's. I will go into that in a little bit more later. An alternative treat is jerky or biltong. Now, a lot of companies put a lot of sugar in these, a lot of flavorings, and that's not good. So I've found a really, really good source of that. So just get out of the fridge now. You have to excuse me because it is open and I've been eating it. So this here, which is Big Horn Biltong. As you can see, that is paleo certified. So there's no sugar in that, and there's a big sign there saying sugar free. This is a peri-peri flavor. They do ones that do have sugar in it, so watch out. But all in all, really, really good value for money. So this is 250 grams for, I think I paid about £5.50 or £6 for this. Now, you go to the supermarkets to buy jerky or biltong, for about 40 grams, it's about £1.50. So you add that up, it's quite a lot of money compared to buying this in bulk, and you don't need to eat a lot to fill yourself up. Really, really tasty. Lots of different flavors. This is piri piri. They've got the original flavor, which is really nice as well. Black pepper. So go and give the big Horn Biltong a check. They sell on Amazon, so if you have Prime, you can get that delivered pretty much the next day, or you just go to their own website. They are a farm within Worcestershire, so a nice British company. Just not travelled miles and miles and miles to get here. Cow's bred in the UK for people in the UK. So get yourself on these. So my next tip is to eat all different kinds of cuts of meat. So just because you can't afford a ribeye steak every single day a week, doesn't mean you can't have rump or sirloin. Okay, ribeye does have more fats, but you can add the fats to that with butters or lards and all those other sort of things. So I'm just going to show you a few things we've already shown you before of the different meats I have again. So lots of different cuts of meat. I've got 12% mince here, but then I've also got the 20% as well, which is, again, fats doesn't matter. We need fats in our body, and these are good fats from the meat. So, you know, I got them reduced, as I'd said before. The frying steak, okay, it's not the best quality of steak, but it's still going to give you the nutrients that you need, and you can pick it up fairly cheap as well. And the size of this thing is absolutely huge. I mean, that's my hand. It's even bigger than that. Butterflied fillet of pork, 75p, you really can't go wrong. Now, some people are a bit adverse to offal, but I don't mind it myself. So again, you could pick up kidney for £1.51. That's always reduced. I always see this reduced. So I freeze that, and then I'm gonna probably make a meatloaf with that, mix that in with the liver again, £1 for liver as well. That's been frozen, but I'll defrost that and make a meatloaf with that, with the braised steak probably, make it really tasty. And so you can also get things like heart, very cheap. You know, a lot of the offal is very, very cheap and highly nutrient dense. So have a check of all of those different types of things. If you don't like it, try and blend it into another meal, chop it up, mix it in with your mince, all these sort of stuff. And I'm going to be doing lots of different recipes in the future for you guys to give a try. So another thing to look out for is seasonal deals. So when you come to Christmas, different holidays, barbecue season, Easter, have a look at what's around. Easter, you tend to get lamb very cheap. Around Christmas, you'll get poultry quite cheap, but then you also get beef joints. So stock up, put them in your freezer, chop them up, make them into different meals. You can make mince out of them, you can, of beef that is. You can do lamb steaks, just use what you can get. Big joints can have a lot of benefit. You can get the bone as well in there, which you can make a broth out of. Broths are highly nutrient dense. Whether you use cheap meats as well for making a meat broth, then that's another real good thing, but look out for those seasonal deals. And keep your carnivore diet on a budget is what you cook your meals in. So I like to cook my meals in a few different ways. I love butter, I love the taste of butter. So I've got several types. So this one recently, which is the Arla unsalted butter, was recently £1 in Morrison's. So I went for that because it was on offer. I'd usually buy Morrison's own brand, which is £1.45. You can alternatively get the organic stuff. So this is the organic butter. This is £1.85, so 40p more than the normal brand, but this one is grass-fed. So if you want more of a grass-fed fat, go for this one. But if you want to keep it even cheaper, then a great thing to cook with is lard. So there it is, lard. So really, really good fat to cook with from pork. You can pick this up for about, I think it was about 70 pence. Now, I've still got quite a bit of it left. I don't always, sometimes I forget I actually got it, but I do like to cook with that. Another way that you can cook with it is with beef tallow or beef dripping. So this is beef dripping, which is pretty much tallow. It just has a different name. And again, you reuse a lot of this as well. So put that in the pot there, lasts ages, use that to cook with. When you're cooking things like the 20% mince, which I showed you earlier, you're going to get a lot of fat coming off that. Reuse it to cook. That's free then. So you've got it for the meal that before, use it to cook your steaks later on or whatever other meals you're going to cook. And it's cheap cooking fats. So those are some of my tips on how to make the carnivore diet affordable, cheap, and do it on a budget. Now, my main point to note on this is to do your research. Look at areas near you that have deals on, or look at your local supermarket. I use Morrison's myself, but if that doesn't work for you, then look at your supermarket, see what they do, see what time they reduce their meats, and get them in your freezer. Stock up as well. Even get to know your butcher. I've mentioned this in a previous video. Speak to your butcher, see if you're able to make any deals with them, if you get a regular meat box from them, or if you just build a rapport with them, then through time they will start to make them a little bit cheaper for you because of the custom that you're providing them. Now, I really hope you found this video useful, and hopefully you can take some of these tips away and to help with your diet. If you guys have got any tips that I haven't mentioned in this video, please write them below. I'll be really interested in hearing what they are, and I'm sure people watching this video would be really appreciative of that. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, and if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button. That really helps me out. I have a video coming out at the same time next week, and that is about me quitting dairy on the carnivore diet. So really hope to see you guys then. Have a great week and take care.